Well, hello there, folks. How's it going? I hope everyone's doing really good. I'm going to shoot a quick video on how to mount these fender tuners, okay? These are the old style fenders that have the two little alignment pins right here, okay? So you have to make some holes in the back of the headstock for those to go in. And that helps keep the tuner from spinning and just locks it in. So I'm going to show you how I go about it. Now I did have to enlarge these holes here. They were bigger than the original style tuners that were on it, which were, I have some of them left. These old style, these ones just did not work anymore. So this is how I go about doing it. I'll set the tuner in there, okay? Now, you can use something to align it with, like a square block or what have you, and just kind of get it in line with the other ones. You can do this by eye even. I mean, it's not really that big of a difficulty. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just kind of setting it up on the bench so the pin, the machine here, tuning peg, I should say, sorry about that, isn't going to be resting on the bench. I just want it out on the edge, and I'm going to give that a couple hits with a hammer. And what we're doing here is basically just trying to, let me turn the neck a little bit. We want to just make some indentations for the pins, okay? So I just tap that down. Really easy, like I said. Now I'm going to tap that tuning machine right back out, and we should have a few marks here, which we do. We have the two marks right there and there. These marks are from the old tuners. These ones are from the new tuners. So now you can drill those out if you'd like. That's not a big deal either if you want to, but this is kind of why I wanted to shoot this video. I was going to show you a little hack. So I don't drill them. I take like a scratch awl here. This is ground right to a needle point, okay? Now what I do is kind of the same thing, is set the headstock, down onto the bench, and just take my little fret hammer, drive that down in a ways, and I just kind of roll it around to enlarge the hole a little bit. Same thing here, and I'll just double check the depth. That looks pretty good. So now what we'll do is just put the tuner back in here and just kind of push it in. That should align itself pretty much. So again, I'm just gonna slide that to the edge of the bench like that. Sorry about the shaky camera. Slide it up to the bench like that. I'm gonna tap that down really easy, and you can see that that drew it right in pretty tight. Now they're all in a nice straight line. I don't have to even check it. I know it's right. So we'll flip it right back over and put the washer on and the insert with the threads on it. Spin that right down. And I'm using a 10mm wrench here, ratchet wrench. This works pretty good. It just kind of rides on the washer. If you're worried about scratching it, you could put a piece of tape on there as well. Either way, it's not a deal breaker, but it's totally up to you. Now, I'm not saying this scratches it, but if you kind of miss it and don't have the wrench on there straight, you could actually probably scratch it. Okay, so that one's on, and we're going to do the same thing again. Let me get out another tuner here. If you guys been following along, this is the neck that I just refretted, and it come out really, really nice. It's nice and smooth, no sharp edges or anything like that. Okay, so we're going to put the next tuner in, and I'm just going to probably kind of eyeball it at first. Then we'll take a straight edge and set it right on there. And I'm just going to kind of go by the other ones. Now, the holes that they drilled from the factory aren't exactly perfect, but this is going to be close enough. And that's just how it goes. Really no way around trying to realign those. So, again, we're going to knock that machine head right back out. We've got our two marks here that we're going to take our, scratch awl or a screwdriver that you grind down to a point. Just going to drive them in a little bit and kind of roll them around. That enlarges the hole just enough for those alignment pins to grab right in there. And it's pretty much ready to go. So again, just going to hold it out on the edge of the bench. Tap it down till it's, touching. You don't want to wail on that with a hammer too hard because you can snap the headstock off. Just take your time and get it in there. This is a good tool to have too. This is a reamer, okay, for plumbers and whatnot, like 3/4 copper pipe. After you cut it, they'll go in and just ream the burr off the inside, so whatever's going to flow through the pipe won't hang up on it. I use this a lot. If you have to widen the holes out, this works really good. You don't have to worry about chipping the finish with that either. Really handy. So again, we'll take the 10mm wrench, snug that right up, and I'll go back over these just to make sure they're tight. You don't want to go crazy tight, but you want to have, have them pretty snug, because these do loosen up a lot on guitars. These nuts that hold the centers the machine head up and locks the tuner in. Even when you tighten them up really tight, they will still loosen up over time, just from vibration, basically, and it's inevitable. So I'm going to do the same gig one more time here. We'll set that tuner right on. Just going to kind of push it down and eyeball it as best I can. And again, it's kind of set in. And that's not my bad. It's just the way they drilled the holes from the factory. I can see that one's off a little bit. It is what it is, guys. So I'm just going to use this as a reference to make sure it's square. It looks pretty good to me. So, again, if I would have been drilling the holes out, I would have made a nice line and an intersecting line and used a nice punch and then drilled them out perfect. But, once it's done once, you can't go back. So it is what it is. We're just going to have to use what was dealt us here. Okay, so again, we're going to just take this sharpened point. I'm going to drive that in a little ways. Same thing here. Just kind of roll it around. And that will just kind of open the hole up a little bit so these can get started in there. I used to hate doing these, but I was usually drilling the holes, which was a pain. This is a lot faster and a lot more accurate. So if you're dealing with these style Fender tuners or any other tuners that have alignment studs on them, this is the best way to do it, in my opinion. All right, so we're going to snug that bad boy right up. That's pretty snug. I'm just going to check them all one more time. Just give them a one more turn, because, when you tighten these, you got to remember that the washer's going to start sinking into the wood and whatnot. So it'll feel loose after a few minutes, not, to the point where the nut's going to fall off, but it takes a second for that to compress into the wood is what my point is. Okay, so not bad. Looks pretty good. Every one of them work nice, so yeah, that will help. It'll make a nice set of tuners for this guitar, and he won't have to worry about it going out of tune and whatnot. So there's that, folks, and that's probably going to be about the extent of this. There's one thing I do need to do to this guitar is go over it with the fret rocker one more time and just make sure everything's right. And then I'll put the nut on. I'm not going to glue the nut in yet because we just refretted this neck. And, the frets are going to be a little bit taller possibly. And we may have to shim the nut. It's a brass nut, so it's just the way it's going to have to be. I'll have to glue something to the bottom of the nut possibly, a piece of veneer or what have you. And that will also, kind of raise it up for us. There are other methods to that too. You could always fill this in, put a couple lifts of glue in there, then file it back out a little bit, and then just if there's a gap on the ends, you could always flip the neck up, do a drop fill on the nut that way. You don't need a ton of glue. It just needs enough to hold that nut in there from, moving. And if it's cut right, a lot of times it won't move anyway. So there you have it, folks. I just thought it would be a good idea to shoot one video on this. This can pertain to different style tuners as well. But if they take the alignment pins, instead of just the little eyelet with a screw, which you see on a lot of them too. Now you can do the same thing if your tuners require 2 screws or whatever. You can push the tuner through and just take that little pointed thing I just used and mark the holes. Pull the tuner back out and just widen it out a little bit, enough so you can get your screw started, and you should be good to go. Now, you got to be careful using screws on your headstocks. Make sure that the hole's deep enough and whatnot, because those screws are small and they will snap off in your headstock. I've dealt with that on a few occasions, so that's kind of a trickier situation. I almost kind of like this better. It's easier. You don't have to worry about breaking screws off. A lot of people really hated this style tuner, but if you do it right, like I just showed you, if you don't even have to drill them, it's pretty simple, and they're locked in there, no screws, you're good to go. Okay, folks, I thought I'd share that with you anyway, and hope this helps. We'll see you real soon. Be good. Okie doke.